Hey everyone, can you hear me? Think we've sorted our technical difficulty. Perfect. Really sorry about that, guys. Just had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we can jump straight back into it. First stream. It's all a bit of trial and error, but we're all good. We've got it all up and running now, so should all be pretty straightforward. If you guys got any more issues with seeing or hearing me, please do just let me know. Just gonna get everything up. So if you guys got any questions, just feel free to drop them into the chat, and then I can answer as we go along. Yeah, so where we left off, I was telling you guys about the journey, my trading journey, and how much of a roller coaster it's been. And the reason why I share this journey with you guys is to show the realistic side to trading, sorry, and just show what is possible as well. So yeah, obviously I was talking about where I originally went to trade, and I had started learning all about the technicals, and it was great. I knew how to trade. But like I said, I was really struggling with my risk management. I was still so up and down all of the time. So, this kind of threw me off. And again, I just thought, it's just not for me. I clearly can't do it. It kept going through my head like this must be a scam. Back then, prop firms weren't really a big thing. So I had to do everything with my live capital. So really, the only way that people were genuinely making good money is by risking way too much. So when I did all of that learning, I decided I'm going to have a big break. And to be honest, I had no real intentions of coming back. And, I think the reason why I have such a big love for it now is because over the 8 years, like, life has taken me down through so many different paths, so many different journeys, but I've always ended up back here. And in the last 2 years, this is where I have really, really knuckled down. And I'm, not saying for 1 second it's perfect. I'm going through a bit of a phase at the moment because I'm transitioning from a scalper to more of like a bit of a swing trader. Maybe not to the point yet, where I'm holding it for weeks and days, but, I was a very fast-paced person. And again, on another stream, I'd love to talk about the emotional side to trading and how important that has been for my journey. And, I help other people now, and when I see complete beginners in their journey, I realize how much of this stuff is actually so relevant. So, it has been a long time, but it has been the last couple years that I have really, really knuckled down. And I actually got to a point with my trading that it was going really, really well. And then I basically transitioned from doing live account to funded accounts. I'd always traded live accounts. Once I start to understand that, it's all about the money that's inside of your account, that's what's going to determine how much you're going to make. This is, where I realized, okay, I'm going to put pretty much all of my savings into my live account. I made a good bit of money, and I basically took everything out. In the beginning of this year, I decided to buy a house. So it was an incredible purchase, but I did really struggle starting from the bottom, which is why I started trading with funded accounts and starting to figure out what all of the prop firm industry was about. Because like I said, like, I'd been trading for so long, and prop firms I just didn't even know about. It was just definitely wasn't a thing at the beginning. So that transition, again, we can talk about that, and how I believe like my prop firm journey really was the beginning of something incredible. And even though it's been 8 years, I still feel like there's so much to learn, and I'm really excited. I'm so excited because it's the beginning of this journey. So, and now I want to go through with you guys a little bit about my strategy, and we can have a bit of a rundown of the charts. I basically tried every single strategy. I was literally that person. Strategy hopping, not understanding that you really need to stick out a strategy long enough before you even reap those rewards. But I was trying so many different things because when I originally learned, and I learned trend lines, support resistance, supply and demand, all the basic stuff that you learn in trading, I was like, surely it just cannot be that simple. So I didn't stick with it. I tried to go down the route of learning smart money concepts. I even tried a bit of ICT, mixing the both, doing everything. I literally tried to do it all together at the same time. And if I've got any beginners on here, I am asking you, I'm advising one thing and one thing only: to not do that, to not strategy hop, to not mix all the strategies together, because all that will happen is information overload. And yeah, it was just a disaster, and you're constantly looking at everyone around you. Oh, that person's making money, they're doing well in that strategy. Technically, all strategies work, but you have to find what works for you. So let me just jump straight into the charts, and then we can have a little look at the way that I trade. So I personally really like to trade trend lines, and I also like to trade support and resistance. So pretty much my whole trading career, I've never been a swing trader. I've never really been someone to hold positions for long periods of time. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, I want to hold positions. But I'm going to show you guys how I would enter on the lower time frames and how I would enter looking at the overall trend. So let's start on the daily time frame, because when I do my analysis, I basically like to start on the higher time frames and work my way down. My kind of go-to pair is a gold USD. This is, people have mixed emotions about gold, but for me, it's something that I love to trade. You know what? I'm actually going to start looking at certain currency pairs, but for the minute, gold has always been my baby, and I really enjoy trading it. But yeah, some people want to stay way far away from gold just because it can be a bit volatile. So we're starting on the daily time frame, guys. Just going to show you here the ray tool. I actually use the ray tool and not the trend line tool. So we're going to just start at the lowest point that we can see on the screen, and a trend line for me is at least 2 touch points. The thing with gold is, we have had such a big push in the upwards trend, that we've gone very, very steep and narrow. So you can have trends within the trends. So like I said, this was the original trend line, and we got the 1-2 touch points, but it's never come back down, and that was back in February 2004. So we're quite a long way away from gold really making a drop to the downside. To be honest, I can't see gold really coming all the way back down to 1,987. That would be shocking. But yeah, so what we're going to do is create steeper trend lines within this trend line. So we're going to do it from the second touch point there. We're just going to create, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points there. Let's see that. So again, we've got an even steeper trend line coming on as well. So we've got currently 1, 2 upward trend hold since January. So that one's not as long ago as 2024, but I'm not really too sure I even see it coming all the way back down past there. Like right now, you know, we are edging towards all-time high again. And to be honest, I am very bullish for gold, even though I don't really like to predict. That's not my style of trading, but I am bullish. If I had to choose one, I am bullish. So now we're going to create an even steeper trend line. And this is the trend line that has been playing around at for a while now. So it's a strong trend line. We got, let's just zoom in a little bit. So this is on the daily. We got 1, 2, 3. Okay. And on the higher time frame now, sometimes, you know, I like to create a counter trend. But right now, that's a high. Obviously, it's not created that high just yet. So, as you can see, we created this counter trend line. It looks like we have literally just broken above, but it's just not very convincing. The thing with trend lines is they can be very subjective, which is something that I quite like, but also I get asked a lot, you know, how do we know we're not getting a fake out? Right now, we can see clearly that this was the last previous high. Ideally, what we want price to do is, we're looking at the daily time frame right now. So for this to not be a fake out, because right now we're breaking back in, we need a closure, a candle closure above this area here. So once it crosses above here, this is a good indication. Okay, cool. We are definitely moving to the upside and we're not faking out here. So, like I said, what I like to trade are trend lines, the breakouts in particular. I don't tend to trade like the bounce off trend lines, like as you can see here, you know, you could buy here, buy here, buy here. The way that I see the market, it's not the bounce offs, it's the breakouts. So I'm going to go down to the 4 hour now to just show you guys something. So obviously before all of this, let's just say none of this stuff here has happened. This is the 4 hour now. I'm going to make sure that this is highlighted a different color. So this is the 4 hour. We're going to pretend, like I said, all of this stuff here isn't there, because at the time you're not going to see all of this stuff. At this time of this trend line being created on the 4 hour time frame, sorry. Just going to make it purple so that you guys know that this is the 4 hour. The red is the daily. So this 4 hour, you know, we're creating 1, 2 touch points. The breakout happens here. And it pushes past this previous high, clearly showing me that we are going to get a nice move. So what we want is really a retest, and that is basically where price comes to retest an area before continuing up. So price is broken out, it's broken above, but now it's like, okay, right, where do I enter? Can I just enter here? Technically you could, but your stop loss would be huge, because when I trade trend lines, the way that we trade is we have our trend line as our kind of safety line, basically. So, if price really breaks through back onto the other side, that's when okay, the trade is going against me, we're going to come out. So I know some trend line traders, as soon as, we break this high, we get some type of pullback, which could be here. We start seeing this pullback here. Let's have a look. We get a bit of a pullback here. It's not really the greatest example here, because on the 4 hour you're not really seeing any type of rejection apart from this like little push, but it's a little bit, to be honest, this for me, you could be impulsive, enter your buy here and see it go into drawdown. Like I said, broke back in and straight back out, so you'd have got came out back to retest the back of a trend line that is broken out of. So it would have taken a while. Like I said, I feel like people would have may have, taken a buy position here. So, that could have been a potential. But again, if you're going to play it safe and wait, we're gonna get a retest on the back of the trend line, and then what you do is you want to create a counter trend. So we've just broken out of this downward trend line. We now want to create a 4 hour counter trend line. Okay, so now your new safety is to have a bit more of a safer trade. You don't have to have such a big stop loss, because at the time, again, like I said, you would have seen, okay, we've had a reaction off the back of this trend line. It did break through, but it has rejected straight back out. We've created a counter trend. So, this ray tool could have been your position trend. We then enter our buy position here, and we just monitor this trade, making sure that we don't break that stop trend. And what we will do is we want to stay in this trend until breaks. So one trade, it's quite it all depends where your target would be, because we can also see that there's a 4 hour trend line at the top there. So we could either make it so that we come and touch the trend line, we could be taking partials at different areas. But I love these types of trades. They don't come across as often, but they can be very, very big risk to reward types of trades. So this is where you're going to get your big trades come through. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, guys. Like I said, I've got some questions. Sorry guys, I didn't even see that you guys were talking in the chat, so I'm just going to read some of this. Oh, hey Naveen. Hope you're doing well. Yes, you guys are. I can see some of you guys are from my community already. I've got a free Discord where we could just talk all things trading. Okay, Annie, you're right. Daily time is crucial. Yeah, so I've actually been transitioning to the to the higher time frames because I'm finding that these are where you get your big moves. This is where, we actually get these moves that are worth being in. Sometimes when I used to trade and I was kind of in and out, it's okay if you've got all the time in the world to trade like that, but if you don't have very much time, um, then it is quite hard to constantly on the market, on the chart, sorry. Whereas when you're trading, 4 hour above, then you don't have to monitor it as much. You just set an alert for when price hits certain areas. To Joe, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Hope to get funded with ThinkCapital. Oh, amazing. Yeah, let me know, guys, what your experience is. If you guys are trading with funded accounts, I'd love to know where you guys are at. But yeah, so that was a really good example here, guys, of that breakout trend line. I'm going to just take us up to where we're at the moment. So like I said, where we're at the moment, potential breakout of this the daily downwards trend, but it's not looking very convincing, guys. You can see we've broken out here, but this was our key level. So I was actually testing our zone here. So we'll see go back into back down to the counter trend and continue up, and gold's kind of been moving a bit sideways for a while. But yes, this area here is kind of our next week a lot is that the market can kind of drop and then shoot up the other way. So we could start dropping down for it to then shoot back up. Guys, I hope you can hear me okay. I know some of you are saying it's been a bit laggy. But yeah, so this is obviously where we're at the moment. Now I want to quickly show you guys before I jump off a strategy for the 15-minute time frame, because as well sometimes this is how I get into my trendline trade breakouts is by using the 15-minute. Also, guys, another way to right now tell if this is going to be a fake out is we can literally have this counter trend here of this upwards move. If price actually breaks this trend line, this could be a really, really good indication that we should sell. And we can this is the first stream that we've done with ThinkCapital. Hopefully I'll be coming on here weekly and sharing my analysis and my my strategy with you guys. But yeah, we've had a bit of technical difficulties today. I can see there it's not really working. Sorry guys, just trying to see if I can sort out the lagging, but it looks like we're having quite a lot of technical difficulties today, which is fine. So like I said, hopefully I'll be jumping on every single week so I can get to know you guys, see you guys here, we can all grow together. But yeah, it seems to be lagging quite badly at the moment, so I'm going to wrap it up there. Like I said, hopefully see you guys all very, very soon. We're going to jump into we'll jump into the 15-minute strategy the next time that I come on here. But if you guys want to connect with me on socials, it's just Doey Trades, on everything, on Instagram, on YouTube. But hopefully I will be back on and we'll get everything sorted for you guys next week. See you guys later.